Well, my name is Carlton Banks, number 256162, currently housed at the Muskegon Correctional Facility. I've been incarcerated now for 26 years. I was convicted of being an accomplice to an armed robbery and a murder, which innocent person lost their lives. I was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. I'm a father, family man, and I'm a man who's striving to be better each and every day. I'm a mentor, a mediator. I'm also the national chairman of the National Lifers of America, which is an organization that helps the less fortunate in here to try to speak out on political issues as well as prison issues, to try to help get things better for us who's incarcerated and be a voice and bridge to the outside. Also try to assist, younger guys in here and try to steer them away from making bad decisions. Although it's hard and it's difficult and challenging, I try to continue to do my best because I feel it's my obligation, not only to them, but to the community as well, because I got an interest in people getting out and being better as well. First of all, being a person who involved myself in criminal activity, I understand the trauma that I put the victims, the families, and the community in as well. So I understand it from that standpoint. Also, the trauma that I face myself. And I don't want anybody to think that my own trauma is an excuse for anything that I've ever done. So I don't ever want that to come off like that. So it's not. But I also want you to understand that trauma can be a mitigating factor. But with me, I didn't understand or know what trauma was. I just thought it was something physical. Not understanding that it's both emotional and mental as well. And it has a direct impact on how we respond to each other and other people. Because when you're dealing with prison, a lot of time they are trained to respond to behavior, and they look at behavior as you just being a rule breaker, or you're not following the rules, or you just acting out. But for me, I see a person that's having an episode. It's that trauma that hasn't been dealt with. Or there's a person that's actually calling for help, but they don't know how. And so for me, I use my own experience of feeling the abandonment, watching my mother go through addiction. My father had did time. And some of the things I experienced growing up that had me respond in a certain way. And so I see it in them. You have to understand that it is something trying to come out. It's almost like how your body does when you're infected. If it's not dealt with, it comes out the best way that it can. And until a person is able to recognize that they are suffering from traumatic experiences or that they haven't dealt with them, it's going to be a constant. It's like push and repeat all the time. And prison heightens that. Some people do time for many, many years, and you grow accustomed to certain things. You get friendships, and these guys in prison become your family because you done did decades with them, and then they die, or they go home, or you see something bad happen to them. There's no way to deal with that, no way to deal with that grief. When I lost my father, I lost my paternal grandmother. I lost the auntie. My cousin got murdered. Best friend of mine got murdered. And I had to deal with it the best way I can, but at the same time, I couldn't allow what I was going through to hinder me from helping the younger guys because they have that chance, because they on their way back out there. And if I can help them get back out there and do better, then that's what I do, but only until their trauma is dealt with. The pride kind of blinds them from it. I ain't hurting. Ain't nobody did nothing to me, but deep down, they done been through all type of stuff, sexually assaults, substance abuse, abandonment, beating, all kind of stuff that you find out just from having a conversation with them. And you understand that the behavior is connected to that and not just being a bad person. But they don't want to talk to you about what's on their mind unless they can trust you. And prison is the most distrusting environment on the planet. So trying to win trust is an uphill battle. It takes commitment, it takes dedication, but you can ultimately gain that trust. And when you do that, you become a better service to that particular individual.
Can you tell me a little bit about what it's been like to be a parent behind bars?
You have to make the mother of your child the most important woman in your life because it is through her that you're going to have that relationship with your child or children. When I left, my son's mother was 5 months pregnant. So I've been in here all of his life thus far. But she made sure that I always had a number and an address and a bridge to my son as long as I made the effort. So she always placed the burden on me. I'm never going to take your son from you. You will always have a place in his life as long as you take the initiative. It wasn't going to be, write him one day here and don't write him or don't call. I was going to either be all in or I wasn't going to be in at all. And so she never let her personal life come in between us as being parents. I wanted to be a part of my son's life, and she made sure that happened. I wrote my son as often as I could. I called. I wanted to make sure I knew what was going on with him in school. When it was decisions, if he was acting out, she kept me involved, stayed in contact. Even the work at my prison job, that was motivation, because if she had to work to take care of him, then I feel that even if I'm making $10 a month or $15 a month, I took pride in working and knowing that, hey, if I can send him, $10 here or $5 here or whatever, then I was a part of the process as well. So being a parent for me here is a very, very, very motivating factor to self-development. And I can't stress enough, it's because of my son's mother that I was able to be the father that I am from in here and be a part of my son's life. My father was incarcerated. And I remember I told him that I still remember some of the Christmas presents that he used to send to my sister and myself. And I even described it. It was a Bert and Ernie little, steering wheel system where the horn was the nose for Bert, the blinkers was like Oscar the Grouch and Big Bert. I still remember this. But it's those little things. Still write those letters. Still send those birthday cards. If you have a number, still try to call. And even if you don't ever get a letter, still write them and keep a copy of them. That way, that one day, when you had that opportunity, you can say, see, look, I was trying to be a part of your life. I made that effort. And so I stress to anybody incarcerated, make the necessary effort if you can. And don't allow your circumstances to become an excuse for not doing what you're supposed to do. No matter what crime you committed, no matter how much time you got, no matter how much money you got, no matter what you're going through, your child is your priority.